Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome all you Maple Mafia members to the 10 at 10. Today is September 7th of 2023. We got an awesome 10 at 10 lineup for you.
Y'all, we're bringing in a whole bunch of cool trees for today's 10 at 10. There's actually even 2 trees that have never been listed before. They're going to be pretty hit items. So you're going to get
one's a Shishigashira type, one's a Makawa type, never before listed.
So get excited, y'all. I'm super excited to be able to bring this cool lineup of these 10 trees, but there's actually 20 getting listed today. So check your weekly email. If not, you can sign up for that weekly email and you can get the full listing of the 20 trees that are getting listed at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today.
They're cool trees also. If you watched our walkthrough a few weeks ago, we actually showcased a lot of these awesome plants, so people were really hyped for that one. Get hyped for this. We got some killer plants that are phenomenal. We really love bringing it here at Mr. Maple, so we're always looking to bring new and exciting plants. I think you're going to dig this one. Let's start on your side of the table for once.
And also coming up, get ready. We're starting to prepare now for hashtag Buckholz Week. You're going to love it. We got a whole bunch of videos where Matt and I went out there and filmed at Talon Buckholz's nursery, filmed the original May Day.
Purple Ghost.
Oh, amazing.
Biggest macaw in the United States.
Walking through the gardens.
Most flashy plants at Buckholz Nursery. Get hyped, y'all. Shark Week ain't got nothing on this. It's probably going to be 2 full weeks, or at least a week and a half of Buckholz related content.
So you better get excited for hashtag Buckholz Week. It's on the way.
All right, y'all. First on the table here, we got Bueno yatsabusa.
Y'all, Bueno yatsabusa, it's a tighter, dense, compact form of Bueno yama. Bueno yamari are very similar plants. This is a dense, compact version of those plants. Springtime gives you some nice oranges, then going to some yellows. I mean, it's one of the first harbingers of spring, but in this one, you get a dwarf version of that.
Perfect candidate for bonsai. If you love DeSojo, think of this as a dwarf, orange-colored spring DeSojo. It's definitely going to have that same peak color, or same peak time color, so it's going to pair really well with some of those DeSojo, Sun DeSojo types. I think it would be a perfect tree for bonsai.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is such a cool plant. We've been trying to offer this more and more on Mr. Maple because it is such a rare plant in the nursery trade. Matt and I found it in Spartanburg at a customer of ours home, and he'd got it years ago from a garden center, and it just enthralled us how beautiful this plant was. And we said, man, that tree's lost in the nursery trade. We got to get that tree back out there.
You can find one today on Mr. Maple at 10 a.m. For those people, I do get a few every week that go, hey, that's not on your website. These trees list at 10 a.m. Eastern. This is just the preview video. So if you're the guy in the comment section below saying, that's not on your website, trust me, it's coming.
Y'all, next up, we got Metasequoia glyptostroboides, Sherman's Nordlicht, also known as North Light.
It's a cool Dawn redwood. I love this one. Sherman's Nordlicht really brings it. Again, it's one of those witch's brooms that's also a variegated plant. This was a broom found in the cultivar white spot. Hinkman Campen actually helped popularize this one and get it in the trade. Incredible dwarf compact Dawn redwood. Great for the container garden, great for the landscape. I think these colors perfectly accentuate Japanese maples too. You're going to kind of get some funky colors on this one. You get some blue-green older growth, some yellowish lime green to white new growth. Really makes this one stand out, but it pairs so nicely. I mean, put this next to some dark red lace leaves. It's really going to show out.
I love the Dawn redwoods. They can be put in those wetter spots in the garden. That means they can handle a lot more water than some of the Japanese maples can. You always hear us talk about Japanese maples and good drainage. Dawn redwoods, they can handle that drainage, but they can also handle those wetter spots. This gives you a chance to put an ornamental tree in those spots of the garden where you can't grow a Japanese maple. I mean, Metasequoia glyptostroboides is an amazing plant. I remember we spoke at the Atlanta History Museum, and one of the guys there had named his son Metasequoia. And I was thinking to myself, which I should have asked him, is his middle name glyptostroboides? But this is a cool...
Good luck at that one at graduation.
Yeah, I know. This one is such a cool plant. I mean, it's just a dwarf, creamy colored Dawn redwood that adds a little bit of extra flair. Drops its needles during the winter, so don't worry when it drops its needles. It is a deciduous conifer.
People always freak out over that.
It does.
It looks like it's going to be evergreen, so everybody's like, what is wrong with this? It is an intense orange color. That's just right.
But when it drops its needles, as this tree matures, you see more and more of the redwood on the bark, which is where this tree gets its name of being a Dawn redwood.
You're going to love this one. It's worth wetting the flower bed for y'all.
Back by popular demand.
Gosh, now this one, don't kill me when this one sells out. Everybody and their brother and their sister and their cousin is after Indian Summer. We've helped make this one really popular. Some people saw this one in our walkthrough video with that perfect fall color. We did some cultivar highlights on this one. It's known for getting reds, yellows, and oranges all at the same time, all in the same leaf. One of the most intense fall colors, Acer japonicum Indian summer.
One of our employees' top favorite plants last fall. They saw this tree in fall color. When you saw our walkthrough of one of our houses of this in fall color, I mean, it just grabs everybody's attention. And it is one of those plants that's so unique and different because you can get yellows, oranges, and reds, all fall colors on the same tree at the same time, and not just a little bit on one leaf. We're talking about splotches of yellows, oranges, and reds across the tree.
I mean, Hulk Hogan ain't got nothing on this. It brings the full Hulkamania colors to the garden. This one looks like you dialed every bit of it up to 11. I think it's Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage at the same time in the tag match. High intensity colors.
It's pretty spectacular. It's one of the best fall color japonicums, and that says a lot because japonicums are known for their fall color. I mean, it's got a good medium-sized foliage. This is going to be a rock star in the fall garden, and when it's not, it's still got an amazing full moon Japanese maple to give you that good full moon texture out there in the landscaping garden.
I don't have to tell you anything else about this one. It's going to sell out. I had a customer the other day. They were like, hey, you're really into wrestling, aren't you? And I was like, no, not really. I just grew up in the 90s and 80s. I'm an 80s and 90s kid, so I love those old school wrestlers. No, I don't like watching it, but I'll talk to you all day about Ric Flair. He's awesome. Pretty special one right here.
Acer palmatum Autohime, y'all. This is coming back to Mr. Maple. The Himes are extremely popular when we list them. They're very popular for bonsai, great for container culture. The springtime, you get a nice purple-red border around the edge on Autohime. It puts on amazing colors there. I mean, the springtime, this is a plant that's going to draw your eye. It looks like a flowering tree. The fall, this one often gets more yellows and oranges, which is really spectacular for some of the dwarf Hime types.
I would say this one is probably one of the rare ones of that Kiyohime style group. If we're going to throw, you know, Kiyohime, Kapersi Dwarf,
Murasaki
Kiyohime, several of those into this category. There's a whole lineup of those. I would say this is really one that's been sought after a lot, so I do think these will sell out pretty quickly. I know a lot of people have been asking us to bring back Autohime. I do like that it has a little bit redder of a border sometimes, so stands out a little bit from that Kiyohime. Also excellent for that pinch back method. When you pinch this one back, you can get very tiny foliage on it. Known for having a very dense, full growth rate to it as well, so it's going to be very dense and thick.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool plant.
All right, we ain't hiding it anymore, but it's Incognito.
Y'all may have never even heard of this plant, but it's one of the coolest trees you've never heard about. This is Acer palmatum Incognito. And this is a cool, awesome tree. I mean, this is, as it tightens up and denses, it gets curled foliage. It basically has a very similar habit to like a Shishi Gashira.
I would throw it in that Shishi Gashira family. I know we did a video and we hadn't talked about this one yet, so we didn't include it. But I would throw it into that Shishi Gashira lineup. It certainly gets some of that cupped up look to Shishi Gashira with larger foliage. It is super neato. Incognito brings it. Yellows to oranges in the fall. I've had a little bit of red in it sometimes, but typically more oranges. Really showy. At this stage, it almost looks more Matsumure style, but the leaves get tighter and thicker.
I mean, think of a more serrated foliage Teroyama almost.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, so it gives you this unique feel to the tree. This is an amazing selection that Matt and I have been secretly trying to cultivate and get into production more and more. It's
Incognito, you might say.
It's been an incognito. We didn't name the tree, but I'm telling you, this is one you're going to want in your garden. It is very unique, very different, and it fits in that Shishi Gashira family. So if you love the lion's head Japanese maples, I mean, this is in that style and that form.
You're going to fix yourself a cup of coffee. You're going to walk out every morning. You're going to say Nito to your Incognito. This thing is phenomenal. And I really do think as it tightens up, it really gives me some really interesting Shishi Gashira vibes. Like, it does get denser and fuller. Teroyama X Shishi Gashira, kind of that kind of thing. It does get a more evergreen color to it. So it's a little in that Angel of the Prince category. I mean, I get some Angel of the Prince vibes going on. Shishi Gashira would still be my main comparison, but it's different, y'all, and I think you're going to love this one.
You better jump on them quick today. They're going to sell out fast. Incognito. Don't be incognito in your garden without an incognito.
It'll be incognito quick on the website because this one ain't lasting. Everybody's going to be looking for it. I think it'd be another one that'd be fun for bonsai as well, though. Oh man, I can't even pick these things up. These are massive.
All right, y'all. Coming back to the website today, 10 a.m., some really large Acer palmatum Bihou. I mean, this is one of those yellow bark Japanese maples that gives you a highlighter yellow in the garden.
If you miss out on these, you're gonna be saying boohoo at 10:05 because these are gonna go. They are massive. They're gonna look amazing in that winter garden where you've got that spark of yellow going on. Everything's kind of drab. Bihou brings it with that high intensity yellow. Now I do recommend this one for zone 6 through 9, not zone 5. Unfortunately for you zone 5 guys, I don't think it's quite cold hardy there. Phenomenally durable plant. It loves some of those warmer climates. My favorite time of the year for this one, oddly enough, isn't when it's out of leaf. That's normally what I say about all the coral bark types. I love this one in the fall because you can get high intensity yellow bark and high intensity yellow foliage, and it's almost an overload of yellow. I mean, the whole thing is golden.
You took the words out of my mouth. You know I love the color yellow, the yellow bark and the yellow fall color. I mean, it just grabs your attention. It looks unreal. It looks, you know those kids who go out and they draw you've got the coloring books, and they take one color and they draw the entire tree one color. That's what Bihou does because it has the bark and the leaves. It's an overload of yellow. It's going to be a tree that can add some great color contrast out in your garden. Many of the Japanese maples go to oranges and reds in the fall. This one is a distinctive yellow with that yellow bark, giving you year-round interest. You're going to be doing the yellow dance in your garden with this tree.
Huge sizes on this, guys. These are massive. They great sizes right now. They're ready for 3s, to be honest with you. We're still shipping them as XL1s. Get your Bihou. Be ready for fall. Be ready for winter. Pair this with your Baton Rouge. You're going to love it.
Coming back to Mr. Maple.
We got Hanezu hagaromo, y'all. We did a breakdown on this one. Go check out that video. We show you a massive specimen of Hanezu. This is the yellow hagaromo. So it's got that yellow sessilifolium style leaf. Really gets some beautiful shades. Bright orange in the fall. I love this one in the spring. You can get some yellow with pink overlays on top of that, all on that angel feather style leaf.
Yeah, often referred to as the orange hagaromo. This tree just gives you some amazing colors. It's going to be primarily yellow throughout most of the year. It's dark green right now. The unique thing about this angel feather Japanese maple is it does have more of a shrub form. And the shrub form in the early spring, when you get some of those pink colors, some of those pink oranges, I mean, it is unreal. Then go into that yellow color. It's an excellent shrub-like Japanese maple with a unique style leaf that is going to grab your attention. I'm a big fan of the sessilifolium leaves. These angel feather leaf structures, they're unique, they're different. There's not many of this style. You know, pair this out there with your Vacage Jacus potus, and you're going to have some amazing color contrast all throughout the season.
Sounds like somebody sneezed when you say Hanezu, but this one's going to God bless you in your garden a lot. What's next on the table? We've got Ookigumo.
Ookigumo, y'all. This is the floating clouds maple. It is white, and every few years you get an almost pure white tree. I mean, when it does give that white color, it's unreal. There's not much else like it. In the years that it doesn't, guess what? You've still got a green Japanese maple with some good yellows and oranges in the fall. So if you plant this tree for a fall color tree that can sometimes give you an amazing white color in the garden, you're going to love this tree.
Full disclosure right now, these are in September. They're not Ookian and they're not Gumoing, but they don't revert. They're going to come back white. You still have that potential to have that bright white coloration in them. Phenomenal plant. Go watch my video where I give you some tips to make this one the most white in your garden. Now, I'll give you a little breakdown of that. One of the tips is leafing it out slowly. Don't let this one leaf out quickly. Get it in a high canopy. Leaf it out slowly. You'll get more consistent white colors. It's one of those trees that when it is all white, it is such a showstopper in the garden because your eye's immediately drawn to that location. It's so interesting. We recently filmed a podcast about to air on our top 20 white Japanese maples. Go check that out when it's ready.
They don't call it the floating clouds for no reason. I mean, it really is a nice shade of white. And this is a plant that's fun to pair and use out in the garden because you don't have many white trees. An awesome tree to put in the garden.
Hey, you'll be floating on clouds when you see how beautiful this one is.
Cloud 9.
All right, y'all, last but not least, we got a new Makawa type here on the table for y'all.
Acer palmatum Shishi yatsabusa.
Guys, this is the correct form of Shishi yatsabusa. It's rarely seen in the trade. A credible plant. There's one of these at J.C. Ralston we talk about, one of our walkthroughs of the conifer garden at J.C. Ralston. Exquisite shape on that one if you want to see what a mature specimen this one looks like. Also, there's one we talk about in Veritree's garden. It's an older cultivar. It's been around a while. Often mistaken in the trade for a Kiyohime type. That's not correct. It should look like a Makawa. Now, what sets this Makawa type apart? is it's going to be more like lily pad. It gets low and wide with a cupped up leaf. So it's going to be a short, wide version of Makawa yatsabusa. Shishi yatsabusa, incredibly rare, awesome plant. I guarantee you these sell out today.
Yeah, one of the rarest of the Makawa family collection. The leaf cups upward. The samaras often point upward on this as well. Gives it a unique texture, especially with that tight layering habit. It is in that Makawa family collection, so this is a plant that you're going to love. I mean, it's a tree that's easy to grow in containers, small spaces. Everything you love about Makawa yatsabusa, a little more cupped up foliage. Known for having a really good fall color as well. I know when we went and visited JD Veritree's place, he put his Makawa beside of it, his Shishi yatsabusa beside of that, comparing them and contrasting them. This one is pretty cool.
Yeah, phenomenal plant, great for the container garden or in the ground. Just as durable as Makawa. So it's a very sun tolerant plant. This could go anywhere you're going to plant a Makawa yatsabusa. They obviously share a lot of similarities with that tight density to them. That cupped up foliage though gives it something a little more unique, and that width really makes it special. You get a lot of wide arching. Where the Makawa you get a lot of arms coming on. With this one, you'll see a lot of those arches going out laterally. Really makes a funky shape. I think it's a must have for any Makawa yatsabusa gardener. These won't last long. It's a funky one, and we got some robust sizes right now too. These are great looking ones.
All right, coming up. You think this is a dwarf?
Jeez. Now these aren't typical for Seho. You saw these in our walkthrough video as well. These are massive Sehos. I mean, these Sehos are huge. We've staked them up. They are vigorous at first, but they will slow down and make a more globular shape. And last but not least, here on the table, we've got some XL massive Acer palmatum Seho.
The name translates as paradise, and this is going to make a paradise in your garden. It's just a fun, vigorous dwarf. It stretches out real quickly, then denses up. And that's the thing I love about this tree. It'll also get some really nice caliper to it very quickly. The foliage on the first flush of growth is pretty small. It's about the size of Kiyohime. The secondary flush is even smaller, one of the smallest of any Japanese maples.
I would say it's the smallest of anything besides Sir Happy, and there's no way you're going to bonsai Sir Happy. Don't even look at it wrong, it'll die. Seho is durable, but it also has that tiny, tiny foliage. I would say probably the smallest foliage of any maple I have in the ground. Incredible, bright purple border to yellowish eye. And what I love about this one is it's not going to be like Kiyohime or that Autohime. It's going to make a lot of interior growth, so it makes more of a small globe rather than kind of your typical toadstool shape we normally describe with the Kiyohime types.
It's almost like a green version of Hime Sojo, but with even smaller foliage.
Now we've staked these up to get a little bit of height to them. So they are staked up to get a lot of that growth going up. A little bit different way of growing these. Sometimes we like to put things on standard or make them look a little bit more unique. We have staked these for height. These are massive sizes. You can let this one go. You can cut this back or do rooted cuttings for bonsai material. These are specifically grafted. They do root very easily for you bonsai collectors out there, so air layering and making bonsai material from these is really easy.
Now, if you're wanting to go back and check out some retro videos, the very first video we did on our YouTube channel, Acer palmatum Seho, the ultimate bonsai. Go check that out. You can see me when I'm probably freshman in college.
Probably like 20, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably 18 or 19, so it's been a minute, but we're still out there talking about the plants we love.
I think we got a killer 10 at 10. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite plant is on today's 10 at 10. I know that Incognito and that Shishi yatsabusa, those are going to go quickly, so be ready. There's good numbers and things, but they do tend to sell out very quickly if they're very popular plants, especially new Makawa or Shishi yatsabusa types.
I know Michael James has been posting in the groups. You go in first and you get the thing that's most important on your bucket list, and you get out quick, and then you go back for your second.
So what recon team going?
What are you going in first for? You going in first for the Indian summer?
Now that's gonna be most people's #1 pick. I'm not the people's choice for today.
Are you going in for Incognito?
Yeah.
Or are you going in for Shishi yatsabusa?
Or Seho. I mean, Seho, don't snub that one. That's normally
Bihou. I mean, people have been begging for Bihou.
There's a lot of hitters on today's table. We got an all-star lineup for you guys. Shout out to our international community. We appreciate you subscribing, hitting that bell, being part of our Maple Mafia community. We can't ship to you unless you're in the continental U.S. right now. We ship to the Alaska and Hawaii once out of leaf, but we can't ship to you during in leaf. Thank you so much for subscribing either way. We greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. You've been making these premieres outstanding. They just keep growing. Our business keeps growing, and it's all because of you guys. We greatly appreciate it.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.